line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up.
Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show and welcome back to PTN Racing TV, where we're live here at Daytona once more for tonight's showcase of Elite Sim Racing Association's first Duels at Daytona, the Pro Series presented by the Butt Kicker. Fuel what you've been missing. As now live here up on the show tonight. Hi everyone, I am Christian the Crusader Driver. Welcome back as we are ready to hit up onto the track here and get ready for tonight's action here. We are settling up as the drivers are currently getting staged into position here. Here's how our lineup will look here on the start. It's an 18-car lineup here to start here tonight. Looking them on the pole. Andrew Moore Jr. in the 77 to his outside. It's going to be Darren Bruce in the 00. Row 2, it's going to be Hank Caston in the 36 to his outside. It's the 41 of Mac Lovett. Row 3, Roswell, Mr. Holyfield, Mr. Modified, excuse me. Yeah, he's got a long nickname there. Yeah, Roswell Harwell was going to say that. Roswell Harlow, and then his outside, it's going to be Roswell Hardwell. And then his outside is going to be Brandon Frontfell, and then 32. Row 4, Casey Clark Jr., and 39 is outside, the 84, Casey Knighton. Row 5 is Ryan Nicoletta, and then 59 is outside, it's Colin Johnston in the 91. Row 6 is going to be the 16 is Isaac Mock, and his outside, it's the 20 of Ryan Dipple. Row 7 is going to be Jason Hand, and 25 is outside, the 52 of Brett Edwards. Row 8, Dusty Applin, and the 8 is outside the 23 of Brian Curry. Final starters, the 57 Joshua Johnson and Jason Wiley, and the 199 to round out your field here tonight. You see the drivers get into position, get into their orders, and line them up into their positions. Here's how our track tech talk looks for the evening. The ESRA boys taking their tracks, taking these legacy cup cars out here. You didn't hear me utter there. These are legacy versions of the cup cars you're used to seeing around here. This track is definitely going to be a little bit of a fast pace, outgoing all the way around. Kind of stabilized position when it comes to the weather, but it's not going to be giving up any positions here when it comes to the fast pace action these drivers are going to bring. As they bring them onto the track here, we'll get your lineup here up on the board here and give you guys a little showcase of who exactly these drivers are. This is the first duel of our evening here tonight. We have one more coming your way at the very end of this race here, and you will see it all live here up on the channel here, and we will also be sharing this around to YouTube, of course, as we've already shared it around all across the media platforms of Facebook. We'll head it over to YouTube here at the very end of each race. And of course, the winners' photos and the photos of the drivers will be posted up here on the channel. So the only way to catch all that and to see all that info and all that fun stuff is to like and follow us up here on PTM Racing TV. Head over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button to catch all our action, all our good times. As the drivers are finishing their way out onto the track here, they will bring them down out of turn 4 here. Line them up into their position here and line them up into fielding territory. We're going to see some hard pace, hard racing action coming your way here right now. As they field it around here, you see them coming down that front stretch waiting for the green flag. The lights come on. We are ready to go, go, go. Out of the hole shot. Early advantage. Andrew Moore Jr. in that 77. We'll see if that lasts for him here. He's got a little bit of time he's got to work in here. 30 laps to the distance here for these drivers, and at 30 laps they will have to complete to finish out the first duel of the night. We'll have one more right after this, of course. Down out of turn 3, down out of turn 2 already out of the gate here at 36. Hank Caston already making some moves on the outside line. He's making a charge up to the front. Or, excuse me, on the inside line. That's a 00. Darren Bruce there fielding his way in there. Bad camera angle on the producer's end. You can blame them for that one. But they come around here and out of the corner zone once more out of turn 3 down into turn 4 here. A solid run and a half here coming from the leaders. They're all trying to get the draft to work in their favor early on, but they are going to have to be very aware and careful about how much they hit it up down here. Running them back on the outside line. There you see the 00. Darren Bruce there fields it in around the corner zone on the back stretch. He's got that 41 and Matt Lovett trying to give him a little bit of a push, a little bit of a kick to get something figured out for himself here and see if maybe there is some power under the hood for later on. But you can see right now there is not a lot of breathing room to make any errors here. You're on board here with Lovett. You see that 59 of Ryan Nicoletta there just for a minute kind of cornering off the inside. There he comes now. You can see the momentum he's carrying through there. That's the big thing with these Legacy Cup cars is that they don't carry the draft nearly as hard. It's really, you've got to try to find a way to really push those cars up more into position. You don't necessarily want to bump trap, but you don't want to necessarily lose too much ground on them. It's really just a matter of patience, endurance, and making sure you know when you're going to run that right spot up. I was told right before the show here tonight these drivers were looking for a little bit more of a challenge than they usually are when it came to running in for the Cup Series. And they said, well, what kind of challenge can we put up? Well, let's throw in the Legacy cars. And that's how it all kind of came to be here. So these cars are a bit different, as we mentioned before, from the Cup cars you see today in the NASCAR world and our iRacing scene. These are kind of these are the cars that came before those new models and new styles came out. These are hilt and handling much more different and in my opinion, a little bit harder to actually control in some regards. Very similar to the Legacy Silverados. With those trucks, those things, man, they are hard to master and hard to really claim and tame. Even on a plate track, man, they can get loosey-goosey all day and they're hard. But these cars, they have a lot more grip to the bottom, and in my opinion, they have a lot more pressure to hold off on. But the biggest thing is, like I said earlier, is just that draft and that carry that they'll have in the momentum runs is going to really affect them. So far early on right now, currently Andrew Moore there in that 77 has the race lead. And you go on board here with him, you can see how much breathing room he's got. He has got no company right in front of him. He is just laying into that bottom line, just staying there, not even moving an inch. You would have thought right now he was playing Heat 5 right now for how hard he was holding it, trying to keep those guys right behind him away from him. That doesn't necessarily feel the success here. As you see, there's a little bit of company coming back there on the backstretch. They're starting to push up a little bit, starting to build momentum. We'll see if that will be the case here. Brandon Renfroll there is moving the runs on the outside line there with Lovett. Lovett trying desperately to see if he can corner in and try to get some momentum off of the 59 there of Nicoletta, but right now, early on, it is currently Nicoletta's to lose here on the inside, just trying to hold his own line. In the back of the pack right now, that 91 on Colin Johnston seems to be kind of doing the same thing the leaders are doing right now, which is just kind of staying more to the bottom end of the zone, trying to run his own line and run his own area, but still kind of fielded in when he needs to as he's taking side by side there, Brandon Ferneffel. And I'll also say this real quick, guys. If I mess up names or I mess up on something, just please message in the chat and please say something so we know how to say your name. It's one thing I don't like messing up on is names around here, and I've got a bad history track record of doing that. So now developing into the Daytona draft train here. The single file line is starting to commence here. You may see that come about here a few laps here. It might kind of come around for a little while. But remember, there are still 24 laps out on the track here for these drivers to be making moves and making runs here. And considering how much power these cars have and how much they can run in those lines, you can never be too sure on what really to expect or what will come about later on. It's really just a matter of being patient out there and seeing what will come your way later and what will come your way sooner. I can predict, though, that last 10 laps, you're going to see these drivers really hit them hard and really push their momentum to the absolute core. Brian Curry right now seems to have a good idea. Right now, he's currently one of the 2 hard chargers of the night. You got quite a few in there that have got a spot up on 3 up right now, but he is in the 13th spot at the moment. Just trying to stay in there and stay with these guys. Taking it on board here with Roswell, Harlow right now. Harlow doing a pretty solid job here, staying with the draft, staying into that play area and trying to mill any kind of runs he can get, something he can fill up with it. It's hard though, man, because like the problem is when you're trying to get those jumps and those runs, it's really just been a matter of how do you hang on to the line and how do you hang on to the other car, because again, these things are not easy to control. They can be a little bit off-putting and off-swaying, and if you're not careful, they'll send you for a ride. But so far, man, certainly it's the 36 of Hank Gaston, who is desperately trying to look for an opening and take it away from Andrew Moore Jr. Moving up on the outside line, looks like Lovett decides to take it way up to the extreme zone, takes it to the upper banks, not to the upper room in this case, but he lost a lot of ground from that. He's getting faltered back into the back here. It looks like he's going to get passed up by most of the drivers here. And he has indeed. Brian Curry takes over that position. And Casey Knight right now in the 84 Dr. Pepper Ford machine is right now still trying to catch up to these guys here. He's starting to get some ground up, though, and starting to build some momentum. It looks like Hank Aston's being challenged up by Roswell Harlow here. We've got ourselves a battle for second place here and maybe a battle for the lead when all is said and done. You can see, though, there is not a lot of breathing room up there. And Caston and Harlow right now doing everything they can to try to outpace and outwit the other. The 65 there of Harlow, the 36 of Caston up on the outside line, starts to build a little bit of momentum. Looks like he's not trying to take second. He's trying to go for first. Folks, we have ourselves a battle for the race lead here now. By about 7/8 of a second here. They are side by side here for this one. Andrew Moore Jr. is being challenged up there by Hank Caston. He has got nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. He's going to try to survive and take him down. Solid runs and solid effort there from Hank Caston, but it looks like Caston is starting to falter back just a little bit after that little advantage he had there a minute ago, or I should say otherwise. Here comes that push, that big old draft train Bush that's starting to push through a little bit. He's starting to get more momentum there on the outside line, trying to play it in. I was just going to say I thought that car was actually slowing up a bit, but I think it actually now it's getting a little bit more ground, a little bit more momentum. The side draft seems to be holding up just a little bit. Now, granted, in iRacing, there is no such thing really as a side draft. You have to get it in the rear or in the front to get a draft off these cars, but I'd like to think in some way you can have a little bit of a side draft that actually does push you a little bit. So I don't know, maybe I'm just wishful thinking right now. Maybe speaking of wishful thinking, I'm not sure if that 00 Darren Bruce is trying to think of a way to make a move there, but I don't know if I would want to take it into a 3 wide loop there with these guys. The way that is packed in there, Casey Clark Jr. in that 39 closed the door really quickly on that one. Didn't want nothing of that, and I don't blame him. Your top 5 right now on screen here in a hot pursuit and a hot battle here. We're just about halfway there with ending this one. And remember, this is only duel number 1 of 2 duels here tonight. We'll talk with the race winner, and of course in our top 3 here at the end. And if a caution is to come out at any point, we will be talking with their drivers as well and see how they're all hanging out there. So far, some solid runs and some solid battles here up on the front end, but the back end right now currently hasn't been doing that much either. Really, they've been kind of staying out of trouble, staying out of that area. Now that could be for a reason though. You gotta understand something, folks. These guys right now are driving on 65% max fuel. So what they're having to deal with out there is they're having to kind of set off and offset the car to not burn in so much fuel. The harder you run it, it's almost like a sprint car. The harder you run it, the more fuel consumption you're taking in, and the more that engine block has to take in that car, and that's why all that fuel and all that takes in. On board here with Darren Bruce here, as you see, he's starting to build the momentum and starting to gain some ground up. You can hear the differences though in those cars, man. There is a legitimate difference in how they sound, how they feel, and everything else. It is crazy to say the least. They will field him in and once more here, and everybody has still been on a roll here, on a solid battle and a half for that race lead. We've had a little bit of a lead change, but so far Andrew Moore Jr. has not given up that spot at all to anybody. He's been laying into it this whole time. He has not given any chances up. Jason Hand has gone into pit road. Looks like he's trying to play a pit strategy here. Fuel is definitely going to be a bit of a factor here on these closing laps here, because once they get a little closer to that time zone, they are going to have to figure out when's going to be the right time to pit. Jump them on around here once more, and now it looks like Casey Clark Jr. is starting to build a little bit more momentum up in the hood there. Maybe starting to see a little bit more power there in that car, and I'm not sure. Maybe that's just me watching him and just kind of seeing how it's been handling out there. But it looks like might have a little bit more gain and rhythm and more section in between. And as you can see, he's getting really up close and personal with this fellow driver there in the 65 of Roswell Holefield. Harlow right now, Roswell currently trying to stay out of trouble and stay out of that problem zone. You don't want to see what happened there on Daytona just a couple of nights ago. Trust us there, folks. Run them through here onto the back straightaway right now. Currently, Hank Aston on the outside line is just trying to hammer down and try to get that 36 ahead and a little bit more momentum through. The Ohio State machine right now is in a solid battle and a solid run here. Back by yet again out of turn 4 here, and you can see that, or excuse me, the back stretch of turn 2. I mean, it's hard to remember where the cars are. Sometimes you turn your head for one moment, all of a sudden you realize wait a minute, they're already on the back stretch? That's just how fast these guys take these things in and how hard they will run them. That's the beauty of what comes with these cars. And right now, as you see there, Casey Clark Jr., man, he's giving it all he's got down there. Fields it in out of turn 3 and 4 here. They are going to line them up in their position zone and try to get a hard run off that. Coming back down out of turn 4 here, and looks like some drivers are heading to pit road. That's going to be Dusty Applin, Isaac Mock, and Colin Johnson going in. So 3 cars are going down pit road, and that will set them up for the later half of this run here. Jumping in down out of backstretch once more, and these guys currently have just been, honestly, just been kind of setting up the single file runs and everything else. Run up through yet again out of turn 4, and Moore just currently has just been heading him up pretty solidly, just continuing to jump as much as he can around here, but I don't really see the momentum he's been carrying through. Hank Caston right now falls back a little bit. Brett Edwards in that 52 starting to make a little bit of a jump into position here. It looks like he's starting to get some ground here. Final 10 laps are starting to come up here. And it's so far it's been a little bit off pace, off center, and all that here. And Brandon Frothwell right now trying to get something going, trying to get something to do in there as corner zone. We're only down to our final 8 laps here, folks, and this is starting to really show a little bit more of what the front end's doing here, what they're going to have to play with later on. But remember, there's still another duel to come after this one, so we'll see how it all plays out for themselves at the moment. Still, it's been Moore that's been just taking this one home and not even giving an inch to anybody here. As they reel her in right around out of turn 2 once again. It is Nicoletta on that 3rd spot. Roswell up in the 2nd, and then Andrew Moore, who has the race lead and still trying to hold him off, trying to stabilize that car into the zone and into the position. It has been a solid run for them, but they are going to be coming down on the final laps. They're going to need to start making some moves here. And now they are going into pit road here. It looks like it's going to change up the game a little bit. Andrew Moore and Nicoletta are going to stay out. Almost a half the field goes into pit road, and that changes up the game completely. Will that change the way for themselves now? Andrew Moore Jr. has still got the race lead, but Ryan Nicoletta hasn't given up anything on him yet either. Do they have enough fuel, though, in those cars to hold out? Remember, you see a lot of these guys have to go in early on, later on. Well, I got to believe if they don't go into pit road right now, they're thinking they can go the whole run. And that's a bit dangerous when you think about it. That's not exactly something you want to play too often around here, especially the way these cars are set. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. Nicoletta and Andrew Moore Jr. are going into pit road. Brandon Frothwell, Brian Curry, and Roswell Harlow are coming out of pit road now if they have the chance. Is this the opening they need now? Is this the chance they've been looking for? They'll have the final 5 laps at their disposal, at their chance to take this one home. But to the outside goes Roswell. Roswell makes a jump around there. I think he was trying to make a position zone in there. He's thinking he's probably going to get a chance here to take the win if he can just get past old front fell there. But you can see right here now out of turn 2. They're coming out of the pits road now. Andrew Moore Jr. and Ryan Nicoletta. Did they take enough fuel though? Because remember, they still have to survive about 5 laps of this stuff. Time's running out, and time is starting to escape. You see them coming down that back straightaway. Here they come. Roswell, Ronfell, Curry, and Lovett. They all have a full throttle assault initiated, coming down the back straightaway looking for a charge. The onboard camera sees just how far away they are coming up on the leaders, and that's not very far when you think about it compared to the logistics of how fast they're going to be pushing these cars to the limit. 3-car draft pushing forward, pushing the momentum. Time's running out. 5 to go. If we take a look at our lap time right now, this is how the laps look right now. You can see the big gain in difference that is on Harlow. Harlow's not exactly running away from anybody here at this point. And these guys are currently, the way they're playing out, the way things are going in, this might be the changeup they've been looking for all day long. And they have a scenario here where if they can get it going for themselves, they might have a bit of a run here. Right, I'm back down here. We are coming up on a final lap, folks. This one could be a doozy here and a half. You can see, though, the momentum that's coming here from Fronfell there and Harlow. Harlow is starting to make a jump up to the position. He wants a piece of that back end there of Nicoletta. Nicoletta can't quite run away anymore. Here they come now. The big run has finally come. They go to the outside line down into turn 3. They're going for turn 4. This could be for the lead. Brandon tries to give a bit of a push to help out Harlow. Harlow trying to do everything he's got, trying to push it all through the floorboards, but the pedal to the metal, they'll come down the front straightaway here. We're coming to the final laps now. 3 to go. Holy smokes, you want to talk about pit strategy at its finest and playing the card just right. That right there, folks, is what you call having someone's back and helping them out for the end. But is it enough, though? Because it seems as though Moore has not given up anything, and neither has Nicoletta. These two guys right now just doing everything they can to hold them off here on the back straightaway. But it's not enough, in my opinion. You can just see the run that Harlow has gotten on Moore, thanks to the help of Frontfell. And they are just absolutely pushing their power and their limits through the floorboards and all that. Is this enough, though? Now looks like a little bit of problems there for Harlow. Harlow gets set back here. He gets spun around here. Now looks like a move here from Ryan Curry. Curry tries to go to the outside line, try to get a little bit of a push there from Harlow again. It doesn't look like it's going to be enough, though. They're coming down to the wire here, down the back straightaway. We're going to the white flag this next time by. Who is going to take this one home? Who is going to get this one to the end? We've got 5 laps remaining here. All run, all throttle, all momentum. Here we come now. Final lap. White flag flies high in the air. These drivers are going to put everything they got to the end. Is there enough, though? Is there enough time to make one last big jump to the front? Can Brandon Frontfell get something on the outside line to jump ahead there with Harlow pushing him behind? I don't think so, because right now the way they're looking, looks like Harlow wants to get a little bit of that inside push and groove from Curry. Curry moves it in the inside zone out of the backstretch. Nicoletta right now, I think, is just waiting for the opportunity to hit, waiting for the moment. Andrew Moore Jr. has got a solid run, though. He's getting a little bit of that rear bumper put from the front bumper there of Nicoletta there as they come on down out of turn 4. Ryan trying to get in there, trying to hold a little more momentum in. They're coming across the finish line this time by. And in the end, it's going to be Andrew Moore Jr. taking this one home. What a race. You look at the time zone right there, 600th of a second was the time to beat for more, and he managed to hang on. Curry puts up a heck of a fight. Harlow threw up everything he had, and Front Phil as well did all they could here to try to take that one home. But it all went to Andrew Moore Jr. The 77 Chevrolet is taking home duel number one's winner's circle here tonight. And he's going to go across the plains and fields and have himself a little celebration in his party tonight. Well, while you're at it, man, don't open up your lawn care service. You know, I know it's COVID season, but you don't need to be opening up too many jobs around here. I guess he doesn't mind as much. The final results are coming in now here, folks. Let's take a look at them here. Andrew Moore Jr. takes this one home, and then Ryan Nicoletta gets second. Third goes to Brian Curry, I should say. Then goes to fourth. It'll be Roswell Harlow, the fourth. Then fifth to Brandon Frontfro. Sixth to Dustin Applin. Seventh to Isaac Mock. Eighth to Darren Bruce. Ninth to Brett Edwards. 10th to Casey Clark Jr. 11th to Matt Levitt. 12th to Colin Johnston. 13th to Joshua Johnson. 14th to Ryan Dipple. 15th to Casey Knighton. 16th to Hank Aston. 17th to Jason Hand, and then 18th to Jason Wiley to round out your field here tonight. And what a race it was. What a battle all the way through. That right there, folks, is what you call all-out racing at its finest and at its best. And we're going to go ahead and talk with our third place finisher here tonight, Brian Curry. We'll give him the little overlay real quick and see if we can go find him here. See if he is hanging around here somewhere. We know he's somewhere around here. But what's that? All right. Well, the producers are telling me he might not be in there, and to that I say that is a bunch of BS because we have our friend Brian Curry now join us in here in the show. Here, and Brian, congratulations on third place finish here tonight, man. What a solid run you have there all the way through. Just couldn't quite pull up the momentum there around Nicoletta and Moore. Well, how was it feeling out there in those cars?
It was a little looser than I expected. I locked it up pretty good getting on the pit road, and obviously didn't take tires, just fuel there. So it was a handful there at the end. About lost it getting into one. Sorry to Brandon. About probably gave him a heart attack.
It's Daytona though. I wonder we'd not have a little bit of a little scary moment or something happen in between there that just kind of makes you kind of question what's going to happen next in these turns and all that, right?
Exactly, but I think for the most part everybody did a pretty good job holding their line, and didn't see a lot of guys moving around and snaking down the straights, and I think it'll be a good race. Once we run the 500.
For sure there. And with the 500 coming up next week, I got to believe there's a little bit of boost of confidence going in. So I'm going to ask you, man, who do you want to thank you for this third place finish here tonight?
I got to thank sponsor Row Farms, Barnes Paving, Trent Barnes, teammate. Thank Stephen Evasius for coming on board for this season, and should be a good one.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, a solid run and a half here for you tonight and a solid foundation here for third place. Congratulations, Brian, and we'll see you next time out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your third place finisher here tonight, Brian Curry, in the 23 machine here tonight with Punishment Motorsports here. As we now bring up Ryan Nicoletta. He is your second place finisher here tonight. Let's go ahead and head it down there and talk with him. See if we can get him in here. I apologize for the silence here, guys. That's one thing that kind of stinks about doing this job sometimes. You have to go a little silent, be a little quiet as we try to find everybody here. And that we did. So let's go ahead and talk with him now here from Torque Wrench Motorsports here. This is Ryan Nicoletta. Nicoletta, a solid run there and a battle all the way through, and a second place finish at a close 700ths of a second. How was that there for you taking on Moore?
I was pretty content following Moore. Everyone decided to pit a lap early, and we were able to get like a good lead coming out. So I was pretty content following him. I knew he had the pole, so if I had either first or second place, I knew I would be still starting behind him in the big race.
For sure there, but at the end of the day, it's one of those things that you were still wanting to gain some ground. Also, I think honestly it would probably just be kind of nice to really make some noise here on the early going here on the first showing here for the ESRA guys. I'm going to ask you though, man, with the difference with these cars here to a normal Cup car, can you maybe give the fans and viewers at home an idea of like how these things feel?
Uh, they're a little sluggish. You really gotta square up with a car in front of you, or else you will lose the draft.
For sure there. Well, it's good insight to know and good word to help for the fans at home that maybe were a little confused on why you guys were trying to get so close together and how tight it was there. But nevertheless, you got yourself a second place finish here tonight. Ryan, congratulations on that. Who do you want to thank you for this tonight, man?
I'd like to thank the whole Torque Wrench Motorsports. Also, Jordan Berry, Custom Paint and Die Cast. Get a hold of them on Facebook. They can make a die cast of your sim car. Um, and that's it.
All right. Well, you guys heard loud here. Ryan Nicoletta putting in second place, giving a word to the sponsors and everybody out here. Congratulations on your finish tonight, buddy. All right, now we will go ahead real quick, and we're going to go ahead and talk with our race winner here tonight, Mr. Andrew Moore Jr. Let's go ahead and throw that overlay up now, shall we, our producers? And head on down. Talk with the boy here, Andrew Moore. You are the race winner here tonight, and congratulations on that. I know your teammate was definitely putting up a little bit of a fight there and trying to get around you, but you managed to hold it out and place a pretty good run there. Great job out there.
Yeah, I was thinking about giving it to my teammate there, since it really doesn't matter what I finish in this race since I got the pole. But it was a solid run for us there.
For sure, there. I mean, what? In all honesty, how did the car feel compared to what you were dealing with probably a little later on here when you were off that first going and then you got out of pit road? Was there really any big changes or differences you were looking for that may have been kind of a scare for you with those later half races there?
Oh, right. It was a big risk not taking tires in that pit stop and getting out ahead, so we just backed it off a little bit coming out of the pit from the normal speed and just kept it in control. And I waited up for my teammate after getting out ahead of him a little bit, because you got to have that draft with these cars.
For sure there, and it drafted it did, and it worked all the way through and managed to put you into victory lane here, Andrew. I got to ask you, man, who do you want to thank you for this?
My teammates, we're all bouncing information back and forth. It was a team effort there.
For sure there. It was a team effort, and it managed to get you into victory lane. Congratulations on that, Andrew, and we will catch you later on here tonight, buddy. See you later.
Thanks a lot. See ya.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner here tonight for the first duel of the evening, Andrew Moore Jr. in that 77. And that's going to really wrap it up here for our first duel. We're heading down to duel number 2, but don't worry, folks. We will be with you here just a little bit. Might be able to showcase a little bit of the race going on here. So we'll hop off here for just a moment, and we will get back with you guys here in just a sec. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Finger to the sky and a green light shining bright. The only thing I have in mind is the finish line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up.
thank you again for holding out there, folks. Don't worry, we had a little glitch in the area there. Don't worry, we're fixed. So we've got our drivers on the track right now, currently running their lines up into position here. This is their practice right now, currently you're seeing up on your screen here. We'll go ahead and give a little showman here to all these guys here and see who we got on board here for us tonight. You got Edward Jurgen there in that 92, currently running us through here in the field on the outside. Jake Flumen there in the 22 from Whiskey Deer TV. And there's Whiskey Oval TV, excuse me, I apologize about that. Dakota Wilson there in that 13. Josh Mayhew there in the 02. Roger Rios, Matthias there in the 5. Right in front of him, of the 002 machine. Then I got Scott Weiss at 31 right behind him. Jordan Berry there in the 51. With the 46 of Evan Keese, excuse me. And right behind him is the 03 of Jim Westerfield. And the 01 of John Matskowiski. Up on the outside line as he is right behind Mark Figueroa in the 80. Matt Jorgensen in the 73 there, moving his way on the outside line. City Chevrolet, and then Matt Sherry in that 48. Right behind him there, looking like got a little bit of a lot. Jimmy Johnson scheme on that one. Al Coast in the 10, currently not out on the track. Neither is Trent Barnes in the 1. Oh, no, excuse me, he is up on the track. The 2 of Steven Evasius, currently in pit road. There he is. He'll have a scheme up in a minute, folks. That's just kind of one of those things you see with these cars when they're load them in. They have their schemes have to pop in. Brian Wirtz there in the 82. Then Shane Wyatt in the 4. 20 of Ryan Dipple. And then the 199 of Jason Wiley. Also kind of hanging around here. So I believe he is the race commander because of the night. So we're going to go ahead and take a second here and just let the drivers kind of do their own thing, kind of run their race in here, folks. We're currently on practice right now. But at the moment, we will see how it all plays out. So currently the driver's still doing their thing right now, just kind of running their way about the track here. Of course, this is going to be kind of one of those things we're going to talk about as time goes on here. It's just how much, the difference is going to be with these cars to everything else that they will run out on the track through and through on these times and everything. So I guess I think a bit of time than anything actually to talk with some drivers here. I don't know, what do you guys think? Should we hear from our drivers here tonight? Yeah, let's go hear from the drivers here. Let's see who we got on board here tonight. Let's see who we may be able to bring in and see how they're going to hold out on this one. Looks like we got Matt Jorgensen ready to go here. So let's go ahead down to Dark Horse Racing and talk it over with the fella here. Here we got Matt Jorgensen on the call. Matt, you got a copy there, bro?
I got you.
Hey, man, right now it's getting a good look here at what you're doing right now behind the 4 here of Shane Wyatt. So far, how's that City Chevrolet car holding up tonight?
Oh, it's a handful, but let's gotta get these drafts down. I watched the first one, and you really gotta push. So you gotta be up on their bumper to get any momentum going. Hopefully, a 4-car draft will get them going. So we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, we watched the last duel here a minute ago, and we did notice that a lot of times when they try to get the runs going, they try to set it up more towards for the long haul, kind of a setup for that, and it didn't seem like it was quite working out. Do you think maybe that'll change here in this race?
I'm not sure. That pit stop is everything on these green flag runs. So hopefully that'll be the deal maker there.
For sure there. Well, we do appreciate you taking time to talk with us here, Matt. Thanks again for coming on by, and good luck in your race here with Dark Horse Racing tonight.
Thanks, buddy.
Absolutely. Matt Jorgensen there, taking time to talk with us here in the 73 machine right now as he fields them around, getting his last-minute laps in here. You see Jordan Berry in that 51. He's got a pretty solid line and solid run as well here. We'll see if maybe he's willing to chat up with us here for a little bit. We'll see if he is with us at the moment. There's a lot of drivers who are still getting to know and getting to field with, so I guess there's only a better time to talk with him than right now. So Jordan, you got the copy, sir?
Got a copy, yep.
Hey man, right now first time up on PTM Race TV for the show, and so far that 51 is looking pretty sweet. What's up with the design on that one, man? I gotta ask you real quick.
Just something I run everything, and custom paints and diecast is my company I run, so pretty much put it on everything.
For sure, there. It looks pretty sweet. Looks pretty all right. Now, I'm gonna ask you, did you watch any of the duel last race there?
Yeah, definitely watched it all.
Ah, all right. So you have how's the strategy in your opinion after what you saw there going into tonight for this one?
Well, I think it's going to be to make a pass and get a run here, so I think we're going to have to do similar to what Andrew did and kind of hang in and see what happens. And pit strategy is going to be the #1 thing to get out ahead of the guys.
For sure there. Well, so far it looks like the car's been holding up all right. It's been doing pretty good out there, to say the least here. So won't keep you around too much longer. We just appreciate you coming out here and having a little chit chat with us here. Good luck with your team down in Torque Wrench Motorsports. Maybe bring home another one for the team there.
Absolutely, and good luck with the broadcast, guys. Thanks, Ken.
Absolutely. Jordan Berry there, Torque Wrench Motorsports, taking time to talk with us here as the drivers are still finishing their way around, doing their last-minute laps around. Currently, Edward Jurgen is the fastest driver out on the track. So why not? Let's go ahead and have a word with him and see how he's holding up out there. All right, we got Edward Jurgen now up on the line here in the 92. Edward, you got the copy real quick, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, right now, currently the car it was in the race lead here when it came to the practice laps, but now you got to bump out down the 4th here. But I mean, nothing really too special with these draft zones. But I'm gonna ask you, what's really been the key factor to holding up for the draft here for your end when you got so many guys out here that are looking to try to take that spot away from you?
These cars get a little loose going into the turn, so you just got to be careful. You got to lift a little bit and then hold up tight.
For sure, there. I'm gonna say though, I mean the cars definitely for these legacy cars, the biggest thing I've noticed really as well that you just kind of said was they have to hold it tight and how to hold in that momentum. I mean, if you're gonna compare them to the new Cup cars, how much of that momentum is lost when you guys get out of that draft and you're not in that zone that you need to be in to keep the draft?
Oh, you lose it completely. These things do not. They take 2 or 3 laps just to get back into the draft to pull up to the nose of somebody.
For sure there. Well, you guys heard loud and clear here on the show. They are going to be trying to hold them off here and try to keep that momentum alive all the way through tonight. And Edward Jurgen is going to be one of those guys to keep an eye out for. So, Edward, good luck out there, bud. And it's great to have you on board for the show tonight.
I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. BJ Racing there, Edward Jurgen in the 92 machine now. Well, we're coming up on our final laps here and the time zone here. We've got about 6 minutes still left on the clock. So, we're talking with as many drivers as we can get on the show here. 03 and Jim Westerfield, he looks a little bit all alone out there. I think maybe it might be time to chit chat with him and see how he's holding up. See if we can find him on our line and on our position zone. A lot of, like I said, a lot of drivers, a lot of new folks I have never met on here, and never had the privilege to talk with or get to know. And you know, that's kind of the thing with these. It's kind of the thing around here is if you don't know too many folks and don't know anyone around here, there's only one way to do it. And that's to get to know them and get to see how they are in general. So, looks like we're gonna go and talk with Dakota Wilson here from Backroad Motorsports. Let's have a word with him. All right, here now in the chat, this is Dakota Wilson in the 13. And Dakota, you got the copy
How's it
there,
going?
sir? Oh, it looks like you got the copy. All right, so. Hey man, we're going pretty good right here on Pizza and Racing TV, but we thought we'd just give you a little time to showcase up and see how you've been holding up out there tonight, baby.
Oh yeah, it's gone pretty decent for my first attempt at this pro stuff. I've been in the Thunder Series for a couple seasons, and I figured with this new charter, I was gonna give Daytona a shot.
For sure, there. I mean, the new charter. What do you mean by the new charter there? I'm just got to ask you real quick.
Yeah, the way it used to be, we just used to take the top 20 and move them up, and the bottom 20 would move down. And now we put it in a team owner's hands, so it really gives guys in the lower series a chance to show what they got without having to progress through a whole season.
For sure, there. That seems to be a kind of a neat idea and a unique way to help out bolster some new drivers and build some new stars in the making. And right now, the cars in the stars, obviously, stars in the cars right now, definitely looking pretty solid out there for what we've seen in that first duel. Anything you really expect here from that first duel to the second duel, you think?
Well, if it's anything like real life, they usually say if the first duel's calm, the second one will be a kind of a melee, but hopefully that's not the case.
I don't think it will be at all. The way you guys have been running, the way things have been going, I think it should be a solid race all the way through. So we'll let you do the talking and do the driving here, and we'll see how it all plays out. But Dakota, it's great to have you on board here tonight. Thanks again for tuning on in with us here tonight, my friend.
All right, appreciate the broadcast. Y'all do a great job.
I appreciate it, sir. From Backroads Motorsports, Dakota Wilson in the number 13 machine here. We will see how everyone plays this one out and how they come about here. A lot of guys here, of course, ready to just show up some new styles, some new areas here, and of course, they're just trying to make a name for themselves, trying to make anything they can out here, not just money-wise, but also just kind of a little fun time for them and all that. Looks like we got Trent Barnes there in the number 1, ready to head him up by here in the pit road here, but we thought we'd have a little word with you here, Barnes. You got a copy real quick?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Barnes, man, right now, currently, the position-wise, if you want to go off practice, not very solidly there with how you were playing, but I'd say right now that car, with the way it could go out here, it could be anybody's game. And how do you feel about that odds of winning here tonight?
Obviously the odds are a little bit lower at the restrictor plate tracks, but no, we're just gonna go out here, have a good time, just make sure we finish the race so we can be locked in that top 2 spots. But go out and have some fun, try to win this thing.
For sure there. What in your opinion, what would be the best way to maneuver around with these guys and really try to get ahead up to that front and possibly take home the W here tonight with all said and done?
I mean, really, the inside line is gonna be strong as long as we don't get too many cars on the top side. I'll just try to block low, maybe block a little bit high, but keep it to the bottom, and we should be all right.
For sure there. Well, man, it's great to have you on board here tonight. Great to have you talking with us here, and from Heroes PT and Race TV, wishing out the best out there, bud. Good luck.
All right, thanks, sir.
Absolutely. Real quick, where are we taking you back to?
I'll join back.
All right, thanks, man.
See you then.
See you later. That's one thing I really wish that these folks on the job would do, figure out how to figure out with these producers is where everyone's supposed to go around here, producers. Good Lord. Well, we got 2 minutes left on the clock here. We're going to try to get one more driver in if we can. See if it's possible here. Producers, I'm not here to wait all day. You better hurry up and get this done here, man. I'm not gonna be impatient if you don't get this figured in now, boys. Oh, you got one? All right, cool. Bring him in. All right, we got him in the chat now. This is Scott Wise in 31, our last driver of the day. We'll talk with before the race starts. And Scott, the intensity of brewing and the adrenaline going here. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. My teammates won the first duel, so they're already finished first and second in the first duel, so it kind of sets the bar high for the 3 cars we got in this race. But this is kind of our team's specialty, is the super speedway track, so we're looking forward to some good 30-lap action tonight.
Definitely there, and with all that's all that's been playing out here from the first duel to what's now going to go into the second one. Really, do you expect any kind of difference in momentum or any runs from what you saw in that first one, maybe to the second one?
Based on how these cars run versus what a lot of the vehicles that we're accustomed to running here. It seems to be a lot more old school style drafting rather than the bump drafting a lot do. So you're going to have to pick your lane and pick your partner wisely to get the good runs up through there. I got a little bit of work to do because I didn't get a chance to get a qualifying lap in. So going to have my skill tested tonight.
For sure there. Well, Scott, we appreciate having you on board here tonight and getting time to talk with us here, of course, for Daytona International Speedway. This is definitely one of the premier tracks to really win on and take on. And right now, currently, as you're getting ready for duel number 2, I'd say right now you look like maybe have something under the hood for these guys. We'll see if you can play it out here tonight. Good luck, man, and we'll see if it all works.
Wish you hope to talk with you at the end.
Absolutely. Heading you back to Torque Wrench Motorsports, right? I didn't catch that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. See you later, bud. Scott Weiser in 31. And again, apologize if saying the names on screen there. We were not trying to do that intentionally. We just can't remember who's who and who's going where. So the duel 2 number is about to start up here in just a minute. But here is how our track tech talk looks for this one as well. Very similar to the last one. The weather's still pretty clear and pretty good. We'll see if it all holds up there for these guys, and as they try to play one more big run to the end and one more big finish. There is a lot of laps at hand, a lot of stuff going on down for these drivers here. Will they be able to hold out and take it home? We're going to find out here in just a little bit. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time at last to head up the grid and find out who is going to come home here with duel number 2 and a spot on the virtual Daytona 500 positioning spot. Here is our lineup. The number 1, Trent Barnes, and his outside it's going to be Shane Wyatt in the 4. Row 2, it's Matt Cherry in the 48 is outside the 2 of Steven Evasius. Row 3, Alec Coates, and the 10 is outside the 0-2 of Josh Mayu. Row 4, it's going to be Jordan Barrett is outside in the 51. It'll be the 5 of Roger Rios and Matthias in that 5. Row 5, it's Matt Jorgensen in the center 3, and his outside is the 80 of Mark Figueroa. Row 6 is Dakota Wilson in the 13 is outside Jim Westerfield in the 0-3. Row 7, it's Edward Jurgen in the 92, it is outside the 82 of Brian Wirtz. Row 8, it's going to be John Mankowiski. It is outside, and the 0-1 is outside, it's the 46 of Evan Keese. Row 9 is Scott Weiss, and the 31 is outside the 199 of Jason Wiley. And final starters on the field here tonight, it's going to be Ryan Dipple in the 20 and and Jake Fluman in the 22. Your field is set for tonight's action here. They are ready to rack, stack, and all that, and come on to the attack. Make no bones about it, folks. The drivers are ready, and they are ready to pull off some runs here, to say the least, here, and see how this one plays out. It is the Pro Series presented by Butt Kicker. Feel what you've been missing. Duels at Daytona. And we're getting ready to get back on through here. Jim Dalton, not to add the confusion here, but what we meant by this is going to be on YouTube as well. What we meant there is we're going to be putting this entire stream up on YouTube after the race. So if by chance you got friends or family that do not have Facebook or do not have a way to watch this on here on Facebook Live right now, we got you covered. We're sending it over to YouTube land after the race. We'll have a custom thumbnail to it and all that. You'll be able to figure out who's where and who's what. We'll make sure you catch all that. But nonetheless here, we do apologize for the confusion. It's not being broadcasted live on YouTube, but it will be on YouTube after the race. We can promise you that. So if you are watching here on YouTube, first off, thanks again for tuning in, and thanks you for helping us, for keeping us out here for the replay version of it. I know a lot of folks at home have wanted us to do the live version of it, but unfortunately we just can't do it the way we've been trying. Trust us, we tried. But the Glitch Graphic Gremlins do not like to leave us alone. They want to keep attacking us and ruin our day and all that, so we're just going to let them win it this time, but I promise you eventually we'll get back at them. Matthew Wirtz saying good luck, Brian, here in the chat. Matthew, it's great to have you on board here tonight, sir. Well, folks, it's time to field them back into position and into the run here. They will put them down here on the front straightaway here and bring them down to center stage. It's green flag racing here once again for the ESRA Elite Sim Racing Association Duels at Daytona. 30 laps to the distance. 20 drivers are ready to attack it out. And right now Shane Wyatt on the outside will already have a little bit of work to do. And Matt Cherry going to the inside, starting to build some momentum there. The drafts are going to be a big factor here. You heard the drivers talk about it over and over and over again. Draft, draft, draft. Get that car as close as you can. You can't really bump draft, but just get that thing as close as you can and try to keep the car online and in play. Otherwise, it's going to be a hard day for you to make any moves. Looks like Steven Vasius, though, is telling me otherwise. Looks like he's got a run and a half there on the inside line, starting to build momentum there. A little bit of trouble there for Jake Fluman, though. Excuse me, that wasn't Jake Fluman. Looks like that's Dakota Wilson, excuse me, in the 13. Problems there for Dakota. He gets sent into pit road here. I'm not sure what happened exactly here. We're going to the PTM Instant Replay for the first time tonight. Check out a look at what happened here as we get back to live race in just a minute here. Let's take another look at this, though. Looked like it coming out of turn 3 and 4. Looked like everything was okay. So what exactly happened here? Let's see, coming around. A little tumble, a little bumble, and a little hit. And all of a sudden, well, at least he didn't throw it in like Danica Patrick did here a while back. Taps that wall protection, though, and sends his car up for a ride. The front, little damage on the front, but mostly a little side damage on the right side. And he has to go into pit road before he can bring it back out here. And that will bring our drivers back out to the pace here, back them into the field as they run them through. 48 of Matt Cherry still has the second place spot in his position zone. Trent Barnes on that one. You talked with him a minute ago. And he seemed like he was pretty confident about running this race tonight. He seems like he's doing a pretty good job so far, holding that bottom line away from everybody early on. And if it's anything what would happen with Mr. Moore just a minute ago, we know that he has a pretty good chance to take this one in. So there's a lot of laps that need to be completed. There's still a lot of racing to be done, and there are no gimmies around here. Matthew Ward saying if he would have just put a little throttle instead of locking them up, he would have just needed some new tires. You're not wrong about that. And in this case, when you lock them up like that, those tires, I mean, they get burned up a little bit and they get burned in as well. And the fuel takes a little bit of a damage in there as well, even though it doesn't seem like much. Fuel and tires around on these tracks is extremely important for a multitude of reasons. The main thing, though, well, in my opinion, it just keeps you on the track. That's the only thing you can really do out there. All right, now Mark Figueroa right now in the 80s, right behind there, the 73 of Matt Jorgensen. He's starting to field his way into position zone. Still holds his line, still holds his ground in here. Everyone's in a pretty solid area of play. Nobody giving any inches up just yet here. We'll see how well that plays out later on, though. We saw what happened on those last few laps there for the last race and how much that got out of control. But then they were throwing some serious runs at them and haymakers while they're at it. Looks like Jorgensen got a little bit of damage on the rear end. I'm not sure if Figueroa might have hit a little bit of him there early on, or maybe a little, and maybe that's just what kind of set him up. No big deal. Don't think it's going to affect him too much here, or I might be staying otherwise here. Because it looks like he's actually losing a little bit of momentum up on that 0-2 of Josh Mayu. If you go off the lap time here in the counter zone here, you can see that Mayu is actually gaining some ground up from Jorgensen earlier. And if you're not getting any ground up from being behind someone in a draft, then you know you've got a problem. Let's see what the lap time comes through here on this one. As he feels it around. And yes, right there, right, you see it right there. The orange represents time lost. Green represents time gain. And Jorgensen has lost time and ground there on Mayu, unfortunately, and set him completely back there. Running them back into the corner zone here of backstretch out of turn 2. And currently Steven Evasius is trying to pull the two up front here. A little bit more momentum in that Budweiser Chevrolet right now. About the same as there was Chevrolets and Fords. There's not very many Fords out on the track, man. The Chevys seem to love to run here. The boys seem to love those Chevrolets, and they seem to love hitting them up. But don't count out the Fords, man. They're built for tough for a reason. Matt Cherry right now looking in the inside zone, maybe looking for a run. But you can see Trent Barnes. He's barely lifting that car up for one reason. Let me tell you, when we talked about it earlier, you saw him kind of lifting that car up, trying to give the Matt Cherry of that 48 off his draft. If you remember what they said earlier, if you don't line these cars up that position, you line them up with their area of play, it's hard to make passes, it's hard to make moves around here. That's why you see them trying so hard, trying desperately to keep their noses clean, trying to keep their cars in line and position, like you see with Alec Coates here in the 10, trying to move it through out of turn 4 to get up there with Steven Evasius in the 2. it's hard to really get a solid run in a solid area of play when you don't have as much power and momentum in those cars, or as much draft and wind speed as well. The aerodynamics of these cars, from what I experienced earlier on, was they're a lot more upforce than they are downforce. So the downforce is really what helps keep the car in play and online for what everyone else needs to later on. So more downforce means you can get the car to basically just kind of shift in perfectly, and it creates a whole new grip, a system for friction from the car, is able to pull forward and move into the center zone. And then once it gets a little more draft in there and a little more power, you can make moves from the outside and the inside. But it's very, very hard on Daytona and Talladega, especially when you don't have a partner or some help here to make moves when you need to. Evasius in the 2, Budweiser machine right now is just desperately trying to get something going for himself there. As you see, has a little bit of company right behind him there with Alec Coates kind of looking into his corner. Running up through here, back by out of the back straightaway, and you see the 13 there, Dakota Wilson. He's going to falter a lap down or two here, unfortunately, due to the problems he suffered early on. He's going to be a couple more laps down when those pace cars get up to him. And the lead laps right now are really moving closer and closer to him, and this is not looking good there for the 13. Looks like, yeah, one going outside there, looking in possibly. That is the 0-2 of Josh Mayu. Mayu, I think, was trying to make a move there, trying to make a counter spot into his zone, but you can see once he lost that draft, he lost everything there. Oh, this could get a little tricky here. He's got to try to take it into a 3-wide slip there, around with the 13 of Wilson. Wilson stays up high, stays out of trouble. Mayu gets into the inside middle. Nice clean pass from Mayu, and good sportsmanship and driving on Wilson to stay out of that area and stay out of trouble. Good driving on these guys. We'll have about 20 laps left to go here for the final duel of the night here. And then, of course, that leads into the big one come next week. And already, whoa, everybody heads to pit road almost. The whole field takes a big chance at that one. I'm not so sure if I would have gone in that soon, but I think that's all going to be team strategy and pit strategy on their end. We'll see if it comes back to haunt him or comes back to be a blessing in disguise. Jordan Berry in the 51, though, is now your new leader. What a way to do that, just right now by holding off there that 5 of Roger Rios. And Rios right now is trying to see if maybe there is something to move through here, moving the chains right now. Mark Figueroa right behind the 5 of Rios there, starting to close in the gap more. He's starting to get more ground up. And it looks like Figueroa is going in pit road as well. The whole field now pretty much has gone in except for the folks that are up in the lead right now. And Mark has taken the race lead away from the original leaders here, and that will set him up possibly for a little more time and ground later on. We'll see. But you can see Jim Westerfield in that 0-3 is going up close and personal, going up high, looking for the run, looking for a position. Big run there from Jim Westerfield, and that just takes away his race lead of Fierro, that is. Westerfield now has the lead here. He's going to be trying to hold off some tough competition right behind him, though, because Josh Mayo in that 0-2 is right in the corner, right in the position here. Might have another lead change. No. Mayo blocks, or excuse me, Mayo gets blocked. And Westerfield will have himself a little bit of a clean lead for himself here. How long will that last? It's hard to say here. But the Elite Sim Racing Association, in my opinion, with these first 2 races, is off to a hot start for the season. And come next week at Daytona, we'll see how it all plays out for them and how it all will come to be. There's still a lot of laps and a lot of time in the season for these guys to get used to these cars and get used to the races. I'll be honest, though, I'm very curious to know what will happen when you throw them out on a track like, oh, I don't know, like Texas Motor Speedway or Charlotte Motor Speedway. You know, what's going to be the key thing they're going to have to find there and work with there? Because, in my opinion, these cars are not exactly the easiest to tame, much less the easiest to figure out. And if they're anything like what they were with the ARCA series, which they can be very loose and unstable if you're not careful, that could really set you back quite a ways and really set you off a little bit as you take it to a 3-wide. So here down the front stretch here, a little bit of company going between one another. That was a 0-1 of John Matt Kowalski. And the 10 there, as you see right behind him, of Alec Coates getting in that run and getting in that zone. Stays clear of trouble as a 5 there as well of Roger Rios there. Apologies there. We didn't mean to. Roger Rios right now currently was in good position for the lead, but now he went into pit road. I think he was trying to get the fuel strategy figured out for himself. Single file draft, still everybody still lined up in their position, but Jim Westerfield has got the race lead, but by how much and for how long, we'll have to see here. You're on board here with the leader. And look now, but you got one creeping up on the outside there. That looks like we got a Mark Fiergera sighting here in the 80. And it looks like he's got company coming right behind him. I think he got the boys together and said, "All right, boys, we gotta take this to the city. We gotta get the mob like style in here. We gotta take the race lead away," and that they will. Westerfield, Minkowski, and Mayu have all gone into pit road, which means Figueroa is going to take the race lead once again. But Alec Coates, he's in a little bit of a problem zone right now. He's currently down a lap down or so. And he's got that 5 there. Roger Rios ahead of him by a bit. Or excuse me, right behind him, I should say. Now it's going to be a matter of strategy on how they play it out here and how they will field it in. But Mark Figueroa has got a pretty sizable distance and spot up in the zone here. You see Edward Jurgen there in the 92. Currently in 5th right now, but he is way behind the leaders here and way behind the field. He is literally... Lap time show, he's about 33 seconds back of the field. As now the charge comes from the field here. Trent Barnes in the 1 leads the pack in. Figueroa has been left high and dry here. I should say he's been left high and dry. He's still got Alec Coates giving him a little bit of a hand here. But Trent Barnes and Matt Cherry, as well as Steven Evasius in the 2. And then now the 51 of Jordan Berry. What they're trying to do right now is they're trying to deliver what we call around here the full throttle assault. They're trying to push all their weight and all their cars up to the front and do what they can to catch the leader. And they better start figuring that out quick because they're less than halfway to go in this one. Time is running out and evaporating for them. Running them down here once more. Still about 33 seconds ahead there for Figueroa. And he is just currently marching his way across the field. Here's how the times look here, I guess, for Barnes. Barnes right now, if he's not getting any ground here on that draft here, man, that could slow him up badly. But I gotta wonder, as we're gonna go ahead and take a look at pit strategy as well here. You can see that Figueroa has completely defy the odds and try to defy the track here tonight. This is what he was thinking here when it comes to the pit strategy. He has stayed out the entire time since they started this race. He has yet to go into pit road, and you can see with that lap counter there changing up. I'm thinking what his idea is that since he's got Coates and Rios right behind him, I'm thinking he's trying to maybe set up a long, hard haul and just let the car kind of settle itself in, tame itself down, and not burn up the fuel. The only problem though is if Barnes, Cherry, Evasius, and Barry as well have something for him later on, will that come into play later in? We'll have to find out. It's getting interesting around here. The Pro Series definitely showing up what they've got in store and what they will have to play here come next week at the Daytona 500. Haven't had a single caution so far in any of these races. The only thing we've had to even pull the instant replay up for earlier on was when Dakota Wilson got the old love tap, as we like to call it around here in racing. Packs have definitely not played into what we were seeing though in the first race. It's kind of interesting to say the least here for me. I would have thought that they would all try to maybe play the same advance, play the same strategy card, and try to hold out and try to get some runs going, but it looked like maybe they all try to figure something different, something new and creative. But again, for guys like Mark Figueroa, who has yet to go into pit road, you know, is their strategy going to work out well enough to even give them the win? Is it going to be played enough to hold out? You got a lot of Class A guys in here. Of course, there's a few B class drivers in here. Myself definitely not included around here. And Antonio Trezza saying the 80 should drop to follow those two cars, save fuel. Well, I mean, right now, if you want to go off of that, my man, right now you see what's going on behind him. Alec Coates has pretty much stayed behind him the entire time, and so has Rios. So, in anything, they might be trying to help him out a little bit, just trying to keep that fuel safe line in position. Because of that draft, too, that definitely helps him out, obviously, and I think he knows what he's doing and what he's up to. Trent Barnes on board camera here once more with him. You see Matt Cherry there in the 48. Got a little tape up on that front grille there, just kind of working his way in. Final laps are closing in. Please do not break my camera though, Jerry. I just put that one there for a while back. Please don't break him in. It's one thing I hate around here is when they go and get those cars right into the camera and break it. I think I've had to flood about 5 or 7 cameras around here just in general just to fix them up. And well, let's just say every time they break them, I have to keep fixing them in quicker than they get. Gap-wise right now, still Figueroa. He's up 9 spots. He's not the hard charger of the night, though. That honor will go to Jake Fluman in the 22 from Whiskey Oval Racing. Or from EJ Racing, I should say. Right now, currently, he is the guy to try to get around here. Shane Wyatt there in the 4, right behind him in the freaky fast, number 4. Trying to bolster and try to hold off. Remember, these drivers are not trying to get they're not necessarily trying to get big points and big positions. What they're trying to do is they're trying to set themselves up for a good position come race day next week, and that's really what they've all been scattering around this entire time. Well, you're seeing down the backstretch, that's where Figueroa is there in the race leader. And this is where Barnes, Cherry, Evasius, and Barry is right now. All up on their game, all up on their spots here. They're all just trying to hold out and trying to see if they can somewhat symbolize some momentum runs in some area here. You may have noticed there was some folks that have now joined us in the chat that we've had multiple duels here up on the show before. This one a little bit different, obviously, because the fact the cars are completely different in their style. You see that wing spoiler is definitely not as big because, again, it's the legacy cars that they are running here tonight. Final 7 laps coming your way here now, folks, on the show. I don't know, man. It's looking closer and closer like Figueroa might just defy the odds and take this one home. Remember, look at the pit strategy here and look at how they play this one out. He has yet to go into pit road. And has yet to, well, I just had to give him the roll broadcaster curse. I think finally pit road finally got him. He's going in now, and that just opened the door to Barnes. I don't think the guys know that he's gone in pit road. And I'm getting word right now that the radio command and control, they're telling him, hey man, they went in pit road. He's in there. He's in there. Figueroa is going to do what he can now to try to hold off and try to get something going. He was about 31 seconds ahead. Is that enough time to stay ahead of the boys here? He's got to get out of pit road. He's got to get on that backstretch immediately. He's only got a few more laps left. He's out of pit road now. He's heading down there, but the problem is here comes Barnes, Cherry, and the others. Evasius and Barry now have the run. They're going to come up on Figueroa now out of turn 1, and that takes over the race lead. We have a new leader. And with time to spare, of course, that might have just been the opening Barnes has been looking for all night long. He's got the charge, he's got the run, but can Cherry somehow find a way to make a move around him, or will he pull the maneuver? Or maybe Evasius will pull an evasive action around here and take over the win. There's so much story on the line, so much that can go at play. That's the one thing about more sports that can change on a dime, is that's why it's so unpredictable, so out of control sometimes. As they move it around. Whoa, a little bit of problems there on the front straight away. Whoa, we got some trouble there. And the yellow flag comes out. We've got a caution. I couldn't quite catch all the action there that happened there. Trying to see if we can see who got involved in that one. I know 51. Got a little tag in there or so. I don't know. I couldn't catch it on our screen here. I saw the 51 get tagged. So we're going to have to go off what he had here and see what happened here on the PTM Instant Replay. And see if we can see for sure what went wrong there. We know he's got some serious damage on the rear end. I'm not sure who he got into, though. Looks like someone coming out of turn 4 by chance. Let's see it coming out of turn 4. Here come the drivers, the stars, and the cars pulling all they can, pulling all the shots they've got. Let's see what happens here to the 51. Oh, gets right up into the 31 there, tags him into the wall, and unfortunately both drivers go for a tumble and a humble. And that is the very first caution we have had all night long. And I don't know if that could have came at a better or a worse time for some drivers out here. It's going to be very hard to say here in a little bit. We're going to find out, though, in just a minute. First caution of the day here for our drivers. And this is usually about the time I would bring them in and talk with them. But, well, if you haven't read the scoreboard here right now, we're only down to the final laps here. We're going to be literally almost a green-white checkered on the restart. And that might just set the stage. That could set the tone. This could set up a big run here for Barnes or Cherry. If ACS is in there too, and Barry definitely has something left in the tank. But I'll ask you down the chat here, folks. Who do you think is going to take this one home? Because this could be a big one here. Joseph in the chat. I'm just gonna tell you right now, man. It's easy. I'm even in dirt racing and asphalt racing and even the road course and dirt roads I've been doing as of late. It's easy to make a misjudge in spots and easy misjudge in your area. You know, the thing is when you're driving at such high speeds and high stakes, sometimes you just make those mistakes and it just happens. It's not something you can control as easy as you think. But nevertheless, we are going to see a green-white checkered pulled up onto the track and pulled up onto the position. All the hecticness, all the craziness will be at play here for this one. Will be at gate and go. And you just gotta wonder yourself who is going to take this one in and who's going to be able to finish this one on by. Whew, getting a little bit of chills up here in the booth here right now. I know we're down. No, it's kind of cold where I'm at right now with the in the studio, but I'll tell you right now in Daytona, these boys are getting hot and they are ready to finish this one out and come to the end and come to the wire. Who is going to take this one home? Who is gonna be the driver to beat? Who is going to take this one to the end here, my friends? This has been a solid race and a solid battle all the way through. But time is starting to elapse. Time is starting to evade. And these drivers know all too well what they have to do to try and somehow manage their way to the end here. Trent Barnes is going to be your race leader off the start. Matt Cherry in the 48 is going to be second. And then third will be Steven Evasius. And now fourth, Brian Wirtz has now moved in. He is up 10 spots. Still not the hard charger of the night. That honor still goes to Jake Fluman. But fifth is Shane White right now. And Shane, he hasn't had in my opinion, if he wants to have himself a good starting point come to next week, he needs a good position on this one. He needs a big run. The pace car will take him down out of turn 1. Race fans, we are not done yet. We are not finished. There is still some room and a chance and a half here to make a statement and possibly set yourself up for victory come next week. But the only way to do that is you need a solid run and a solid foundation for this one. They are going to put everything they can to the end. Move the field in, move the drivers on by. Whew, just getting the chills around here, boys. I can't, just get crazy around here. All right, Green, white, checkered on the restart here. They will set them up for this one. Who's taking this one to the end? Who is going to be your race winner tonight? We'll soon find out here in a minute. The question is, though, is how are they going to fare on this restart? This restart, you've got to get that gun, you got to jump that gun in there, and you've got to get that car set up quick and smoothly if you want to have any chance to win it. Pace them out of turn 4. Set them up for the front stretch. The pace car is coming off this time by out of turn 4. He hits it out of here. And now the green lights will come on. The flag comes out. It's green flag racing here once again off the restart. We'll work them through here onto the front straightaway here down into turn 1. Right back on by here as they hit them up by. Back them out yet again. Charging through, here comes the 82 there, Brian Wirtz. Wirtz is trying to pull a little kiss on this one, kiss 82, and move it up to the front to the win. Look behind him, though. A whole lot of cars looking for some moves. They're looking for some trouble. We got problems there coming out of the backstretch. Alec Coates has gone into the wall has gone down into the grassy plains, opened up his own lawn care service. Manages to save and stay out of trouble. They're staying green, though. Good save there by Alacos to get out of that one, but right now it is Trent Barnes who has the race lead coming to the end. White flag is out. Steven Evasius in the 2 is going to try to take this one away from him. Will the 82 be able to pull back a little bit more momentum and try to pull it back? He falls back, trying to get runs there going for himself. The 4 is in trouble. He's got big problems. He's coming down out of turn 1. They're crashing down out of turn 1 and 2. Rios is into the wall protection and smashes it completely. They're staying green. They're going to stay under green. They're coming to the wire here. They will fight them out. By down yet again. Evasius looking for one last run there. Coming to the win. Down out of turn 3. Down into turn 4. Evasius trying to hold off. Trying to get some momentum. Wirtz is going to come on the outside. He's going to try to get the run coming to the wire zone at the end. They're coming to the line. And at the finish, it's going to be Trent Barnes just holding him off to the end. What a race. Trent Barnes wins duel number 2 and gets himself a spot at possibly winning the Daytona 500 next week in a pretty good area of play. The unofficial results are up right now. They are still finishing their drivers out right now. But make no bones about it, your winner is definitely Trent Barnes in this one, and for good reason. Tire saving, fuel management, and frankly, in my opinion, an all-around full throttle assault to end that one. That took all his skill and all his might to hold off some serious competition there. Great runs on his end and great positioning here as your top 5 are now up on the scoreboard here. Well, he did it, folks. Trent Barnes takes it to victory lane. He is your race winner here tonight for duel number 2, and it's time for a little celebration. A solid run and a solid race all the way through. Great driving on these guys and great stuff all the way. Man, that was some stuff. That's some good stuff, I tell you. Well, let's head it down here real quick and talk with some of our guys here.
Fox Fire.
We're going to talk real quick here with Brian Wirtz here from Dark Horse Racing. And Brian, first off, congratulations on 3rd place finish here. Your second hard charger of the night, up 11 spots, man. That takes some skill to even get around here on Daytona, man.
Thanks, man. I don't know, not a bad race. Just feeling the cars out. I don't know. The draft model for this thing is pretty rough to work with. You can't really do anything on your own. Teamwork is probably the only way you're gonna make any moves on the track. And I think everyone from 4th on back tried to win the race going into 1, and kind of took anyone else's shot away from the 2 teammates in front.
Yeah, we kind of caught all that as it was going around there, and unfortunately, it lost the momentum. In the Sunkist 8-2, they're coming to that line, but you know, we had that feeling maybe if you had one more lap, you might have had some there.
Yeah, biggest thing is you need someone pushing you. These cars, as soon as you get to the back of another car, it's like hitting a wall of air. You can't do anything about it unless somebody is going to push you through it.
For sure there. Well, Nevertheless, here, Brian, I believe we got a friend here in the or a family member here, Matthew Wertz, tuned on in and chat up real quick and wished you good luck. And indeed, it looks like some luck came your way and third place finish throughout. Brian, I got to ask you, man, who do you want to thank you for this one tonight?
I think all my teammates. I think we all have a pretty good lineup going into our big Daytona race. So big shout out to them. Is Roswell Harlow as a new addition to DHR, and then Matt Lovett and Casey Knighton. And thanks for watching, Matt. I'll talk to you later.
All right, you heard it loud and clear here on the show. Brian Wertz, third place finish here tonight. Congratulations, man. Well earned and deserved for Dark Horse Racing.
Thank you, sir.
That's indeed. All right, now let's go ahead and take it down to our second place finisher here tonight. As we hit him up down pit road, Stephen Evasius getting out of the car, taking care of things here for Punishment Motorsports. As he now tunes in with us here, Stephen, congratulations on the second place finish here tonight, man. How does it feel to really just put up a bit of a fight to the end and really put it to the boot there with Barnes right in front of you?
It feels good, man. I mean, he's my teammate, so when we were lined up to 48, if he went anywhere, I was just gonna line up with him anyway. We were just hoping to get a 1-2, 1-2, so that's all we were.
Yeah, it definitely did indeed, man. The 1-2, 1-2, it came perfectly for you, and it managed to hold you out. I'm gonna be kind of frank though with you, man. What was it like there? We were heard with the draft and all of that with these guys, but really, what was kind of the hard part for you when it came to pushing teammates around, trying to help each other out? Was there at any time did you feel like maybe it just could get a little out of hand or could end up getting you in trouble?
No, the only thing I really noticed is you can't really get on their bumper too good unless you got a whole lot of help. And even then, it's kind of hard. But I didn't feel no issues. Super secure. I got loose once out of 4, almost wrecked it, but that's just because I hit the apron. Other than that, it's good handling.
For sure there, and handling it did. It handled your way up to second place here tonight. Going into the big Daytona race come next week, man. Who do you want to thank you for this finish and all that?
I want to thank Punishment Motorsports. Since jumped on board with them today. It's obviously going to work out, I think, pretty good. The league, ESRA, you guys for broadcasting it. You guys are doing a pretty good job tonight. Watched the race earlier, so appreciate it, man.
I appreciate the support here. I hope you guys enjoyed all that and everything else on this one as well. So, nevertheless, Steven, congratulations on the second place finish, man, and we will catch you later on next week, brother.
Have a good one.
You too. Ladies and gentlemen, your second place finisher here tonight, Stephen Evasius in the 2. And now it is that time of day, folks. We're going to take it on down and talk with the man himself. The race winner here tonight, Trent Barnes in the number 1. And Trent, we talked with you right before this one started up. Oh boy, did you have to put up a fight there, and your teammate really gave you a hand there to that one. But nicely done there on teamwork and racing there, my friend.
Oh yeah, that was a handful for sure. It was a good race. We had a good race going on. We pitted early. We had really good pit stops for the team, and our 4-car pack just pulling away slow and steady. But yeah, the caution came out. Luckily I had Steven behind me, my teammate, and set sail after that.
For sure there. Now I'm gonna ask you something that maybe kind of sets you up for the next race here. But I'm gonna ask you, with what you've done here and getting that win in, and now having to hold off, with some tough competition and having help from your teammates. How much of that confidence boost of that level did it get for you here to really set up for this one, for the next race?
Oh, for sure, it's a confidence boost. Winning anything is going into the next race with heads high, and we're gonna go in heads high with the Daytona race. We're planning to win, and we're do that. We're gonna have good teamwork with it, and just try to get with Steven and Brian early and set sail again.
For sure there. Well, it looks like it's ready to set sail for a big run and a half here to the end. You've got yourself a pretty good car out there and a pretty good line to possibly take this one to the end, man. So I'm going to ask you, who do you want to thank you for this finish here tonight?
I got to thank Steven, obviously, the car behind me. But Cherry for sure, too. Cherry was helping us good, and fortunately got stuck on the outside on that last restart. But no, props to Steven joining the team today and doing big things for us already.
Absolutely. Well, nevertheless, you've got yourself a trip to Daytona next week and a win here tonight. I think you've got yourself all set up for the big one coming tomorrow next week, brother. We'll see you next time out here, bud.
All right, thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner here tonight, Trent Barnes in the number 1 machine from Punishment Motorsports here. And great to have everybody tuned on in with us. Great to have you all taking taking the time to come and tune in with us as well. Thanks again to the guys over here at Elite Sim Racing Association for having us call the action and call the race here. It was an honor and a privilege to be able to do this here with you guys. Sure hope you guys enjoyed it. Sure hope you liked everything you saw here. And of course, if you liked what you seen, be sure to like and follow us up here on Facebook. Always appreciate you guys giving us some love and support around here, and always love seeing fans and all new, young and old, come around here. We hope you enjoyed the show, and the next time we will see you, it will be next week with these guys here, of course. But we do have possibly one race in the works coming tomorrow night, so be tuned in for that. But again, congratulations to everybody from the Elite Sim Racing Association for their dual wins. We'll have all the photos and all that done up here in just a little bit. And we'll catch you all the next time when the green flag flies right here on PTM Racing TV. So for now, be safe. God bless. Take care. We love you guys. See you next time.